Scary rooms you should never go inside. If you go to the Banff Springs Hotel in Canada and ask to stay in room 873, they will say that room does not exist, but the rooms before and after that number do exist. Room 873 was sealed up for good and the door was removed. This was after a guest took the life of his family and himself inside the room. After this happened, they renovated the room, but anyone who stayed there would hear screams during the night. They really believed the room was haunted, so they sealed it up for good. This girl's bedroom in Mexico is scary. That's because it's apparently possessed by a doll. The girl was complaining her dolls would move around all by themselves, so her dad set up a camera, and this is what it recorded. The doll is moving around all by itself. Other cameras also caught papers moving around all by themselves. Scary things seen live on TV news. One day a Russian news anchor is doing a normal report, but that's when behind her a gigantic glowing orb appears. The orb lights up the entire area and then fades away into the sky. Some said this could be a real-life angel, and others said it was a sign of alien life. A man is being interviewed at an airport, but pay close attention to the blonde woman behind him. Someone walks in front of her, and just like that, she disappears. This news reporter was talking about 3 bodies that had been found. That's when a car mysteriously drives behind him and stops.
A lot of questions to be answered here, Jake, but Jake, are you okay?
The car then accelerates, making a loud noise, scaring the news reporter. Many believe that the guy in the car was the person who'd committed the crimes. Scary things seen live on TV news, part 2. A weather reporter is talking about bad lightning. That's when, all of a sudden, a gigantic lightning strike occurs behind him. Thankfully he was fine, but this was a near miss. A few years ago, Obama was doing a speech, but that's when behind him a demon face appears to be seen in the White House window. Many thought this was a reflection, but it was later found the face was coming from inside the window. One day the Pope was doing a speech, but when he turned around to go back inside, he vanished. A news reporter is down in a storm drain. That's when she sees a very creepy looking man.
Are there other people that live down here with you?
Many believed this clip was real, but it turns out it's from a movie named VHS 94. Videos with scary backstories. This image shows a group of women at a slumber party, but one of the women would not leave the slumber party alive. Tamla Horsford was mysteriously found in the backyard the following morning. She was not alive and was face down in the grass. The cops said she fell from a balcony and quickly closed the case. But an autopsy said her injuries were not consistent with a fall. Many believe that Tamla's life was taken on purpose. In 1995, Scott Amagier went on the Jenny Jones Show. On the show, Scott said he had a crush on his male friend, Jonathan Schmitz. He was then brought on and Jenny said, "Guess what? Scott has a crush on you." Jonathan seemed uncomfortable but laughed it off. But later on, he took a shotgun and ended Scott's life. In the trial, he said he was very embarrassed about what happened on the show. Scary videos caught in elevators. In this video from Singapore, 2 men get onto an elevator. Everything seems normal until they get off. It seems a scary creature was hiding behind one of the men. It seems like they did not even realize the presence of whatever this is. What do you think this creature is? In this video, someone sees a figure go by the elevator's glass doors. They follow it down some stairs, but that's when they hear a sound above them. A scary figure seems to be following them around the elevators and stairs. But what do you think this thing actually is? This video from 2014 shows a woman walking down some stairs. She is going into her building's elevator, but that's when from around the corner a dark shadow appears. This shadow chases the woman up the stairs. Is this shadow a ghost or something else? Houses so scary they had to be demolished. The Enfield Poltergeist house is found in London, UK. In the 1970s, the Hodgson family moved in and began experiencing strange things. They would hear knocking sounds, screaming, and furniture would move around by itself. Also, one of the daughters named Janet was possessed by a man named Bill. In this BBC interview, she is seen speaking with a man's voice.
No.
Who's there?
Doctor.
Records of the house were looked up and it was found a man named Bill used to live here. The Sally House is one of the most haunted houses in America. It's said many spirits haunt this house. The main ghost is named Sally. A former owner named Tony once saw Sally in the kitchen one night. He sketched what he saw and showed the child of a former owner. When the child saw the sketch, she said, "That was my imaginary friend when I was younger named Sally." Scary houses you should never go inside. The Myrtles Plantation is found in Kansas, USA. It is said to be haunted by more than 10 spirits. The most famous being a ghost named Chloe. The last owner was named William Winter and he mysteriously passed away inside the house. Film crews have tried to make documentaries about this house, but when they get there, their cameras glitch out and won't work. Villa de Vecchi is the most haunted house in Italy. It used to be owned by Count de Vecchi before his entire family mysteriously vanished in the house. Today the house is deserted, but locals say they can hear the house's piano playing by itself every night. Also, many occultists like Aleister Crowley have gone here and done rituals. The Monte Cristo homestead is said to be the most haunted house in Australia. Built in 1885, over 12 people have passed away in this house. It's said that their spirits still haunt this house today. Scary fact you wish you never knew. In the 18th century, you could pay admission for the London Zoo by bringing a cat or dog, and then feeding it to the lions. Ever wondered why bus seats have that strange pattern? It's designed so you can't tell how dirty the seat really is. Ever wondered why your dog likes the sound of chew toys? It's because they remind your dog of a small animal squealing as it's being eaten. When you ride the subway, 15% of the air you breathe is human skin. That's because skin cells drop off people and have nowhere to go. All of the laugh tracks you hear on TV were recorded in the early 1950s. This means you're hearing the laughs of people who are no longer alive. According to the FDA, the average American eats a pound of insects every year. These are normally mixed in with other foods during the processing. Scary phone numbers you should never call. 09044444444 is a number you should never call. It's said that if you call it, you will hear a screaming sound. It's known as Sadaku's number in Japan. Sadaku is an ancient Japanese tale about a possessed girl. You will apparently be haunted if you call this number. The number 0 with 9 8s is said to be cursed. The first guy who had the number was poisoned. The number then went to another man who was the victim of a drive-by, and then to a corrupt businessman who was also the victim of another drive-by. To stop other people being cursed, the number was discontinued. But if you call it today, you will get a very eerie message. Scary phone calls you can't unhear. In 1997, a man called a radio station in Nevada. He said that he worked at Area 51, the top secret research facility.
Okay, well, what we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings.
Midway through it, the radio station lost power mysteriously. When they got power back, the caller was gone. A few years ago, a man in Washington called 911 saying something was outside his house. He said it was a gigantic creature standing on 2 legs.
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
The guy is on foot.
I don't know what, he's big, real big person, that's all I can say.
Okay, it is a person.
And this has led many people to believe it could be Bigfoot. You can hear in the call how scared the man is. Scary Titanic facts no one knew. Did you know an author predicted the sinking of the Titanic 14 years before it happened? Morgan Robertson wrote the book The Wreck of the Titan. The story is exactly the same as the sinking of the Titanic, but he wrote it 14 years before the Titanic sank. Did you know a lifeboat was scheduled for the same day the Titanic sank, but it was cancelled for unknown reasons? This could have saved many of the passengers and crew, but to this day no one knows why the lifeboat was called off. Did you know a nearby ship could have easily saved many people on the Titanic, but they didn't? The captain of the nearby ship saw the Titanic's flares, but he assumed these were fireworks. He only realized the next morning that they were SOS signals.